Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, takeover news, transfer news, but really more of just a chit chat show. I mean, there is news out, but the news out is kind of news that we've been saying the last few days. ONANA are expected to be done. United making a move for Hojlund. Pardon me. Greenwood potentially being used in a Hojlund. Qatar are confident. Qatar feel they're in the lead. A lot of the news, what we will talk about, we will just cover because we've got some interesting stuff coming in from like good sources at the BBC and Romano and some interesting updates as well. We will cover the news, but today's video I thought was more going to be like a late night chit chat live stream, just talking about United because it's very positive at the moment. I think Mount is done, and I have to say, Mount saying how special United is, and Mason Mount's dad saying you're at home here at United, and the Chelsea fan meltdown. You've got to love that. Obviously, Qatar registering account at the Cayman Islands. Obviously, that was done in April. But Qatar, there's obviously a few things Qatar have to do before the takeover will go through, and Qatar are doing all those things. So there's also that slight feeling of, oh, could this be going Qatar's way? The BBC has spoken on that, and a few inside people have mentioned some things. And then also, obviously, Rasmus Hojlund United seems to be developing. So I guess I'll get a little bit into the news story and what Romano's had to say. But for me, I wanted this to be more of a chit chat live stream as well. Just sort of talking about United and the news and all of that with you guys, because lots of good things to talk about. How you think ONANA is going to impact United, how are you feeling as well. Obviously Leach, coming out. This is what I love about the United squad, and Leach is one of the most likable guys. He comes up to Mason Mount and goes, before we fight and now we mate, because obviously Leach and Mason Mount fought for Old Trafford. Bruno's always put in a Mason Mount shirt and then posting jokey things as well. And the hard Chelsea fans burning kits and Ash was being an idiot. Well, Ash was just an attention seeker anyway. But I think Chelsea are overreacting. Like, at the end of the day, blame Todd Bowie, blame your club for their mismanagement. You know what? If Man United is a bit of a mess, but if Man United had finished 12th last season and Rashford had decided to leave for Chelsea, and the board weren't offering Rashford the contract he wanted, but offering these crapper players higher wages than Rashford. Like, they brought in Sterling and Koulibaly on like 400k a week, but wouldn't give Mason Mount more than 250k a week. But he also took 250k a week at United. He was the club's player of the season 2 out of the last 3 seasons, but they were prioritising these other guys over him. Mason Mount wasn't treated well by Chelsea. And United don't treat players well. And sometimes I always think, if a United player goes to Liverpool or Man City, that's unexcusable. But if a United player goes to Chelsea and I think that the club has treated the player bad and the player deserves this and the club didn't give the player this, sometimes I go, you know what? I can't be too angry with the player. If they go to Chelsea, they go to Tottenham. Maybe Arsenal are a bit difficult about, because I would always, if Chelsea fans should be directing their energy at the club. Takeover won't be announced this side of the weekend. Then it's got to go through contracts and the Prem. Yeah, Takeover. Look, we don't know whether Takeover is going to be announced. There's a few things that need to be done. There's things going on behind the scenes. Obviously, Glazer squabble, and all of that. People who do have information from sources behind the scenes obviously can't say things because of NDAs and stuff being signed, and they don't want to be a Rio Ferdinand and say something and nothing happen. And no one knows really when the takeover is happening, when it's going to be announced. But people who do get information, and these are, there's people, these aren't the journalists, these are the people that have genuine contacts, and rain might leak a bit here and there, do hear that Qatar are edging, and do hear that it's going Qatar's way. So, and it is looking positive with the takeover, but, we just have to wait and see. I think it's difficult to know what's true and what's not true. But it looks like United are heading towards the right direction. It does. It's looking good. The thing is, ONANA Mason Mount coming. United allowed to just play this new style of football. Mason Mount's going to allow us to press high up the pitch. ONANA is just going to transform the way we play out from the back, how we line up. Like, ONANA and Mason Mount are going to have a brilliant impact on the way we play. Rasmus Hojlund is a machine. I think he's a fantastic player, fantastic future number 9. Haaland potential, 10R player, tactical player, technical player, got these attributes, will blossom under Benny McCarthy. I think Hojlund's going to be great. Obviously, you need another midfielder to take the pressure off Casemiro and someone in the bigger games, because I think Mount, Bruno, Casemiro can be vulnerable. We need someone to help with ball retention. And then the only real thing after that is, obviously I'd like Harry Kane, I'd like Frankie de Jong, but that's kind of unrealistic. The only real thing now is it's ONANA, Mount, and Hojlund pre-season, sell players, get another midfielder in, and then get that takeover sorted. And to be honest, all I can ask for this summer is get those 3 deals over the line that Ten Hag wants, get another midfielder in, whether it's Amrabat, whether it's Labi, and whether there's a chance for Tchouaméni or Frankie de Jong. Don't think so, but couldn't say no. And then just get this Qatar deal sorted. I mean, I don't want Sir Jim, I don't want the Glazers staying, but the whole process has generally been described as Qatar are 3-2 up in the 89th minute. Unless Sir Jim does something, changes his bid, he's very likely to go Qatar's way. It's kind of the feeling as well with that. So we'll get into that in a second as well. Let's hope these execs finally figured out better get business done rather than end of the window and pay much more anyway. Yeah, exactly. I was talking about this with Mick of United Readers yesterday. I said, you know, I think Arnold and Murta, I'd obviously get rid of them when I get a board in and get a new board and just completely refresh everyone above Ten Hag. But they are an improvement on Woodward. And I think, you know, the one thing I've said is I've complained a lot, but the one sympathy I have with Arnold and Murta, the one thing I'll give them is what can they do when the Glazers aren't giving them the funds? What can they do when the Glazers aren't releasing them the funds? Because the reason we weren't getting stuff done is because they were trying to get the funds off the Glazers. It wasn't Arnold and Murta. You know, they were trying to get the funds off that. And I'm not sticking up for Arnold and Murta, but I think Arnold and Murta, Qatar need to get rid of them if they come in, but they're very much like, Woodward did this, Woodward did that. We're not going to repeat those mistakes. What have they done? De Gea's not staying. If it was Woodward, De Gea would be staying. We wouldn't be getting ONANA. Murta's gone. We've got to listen to the manager, what the manager wants. How many times did Woodward not listen to the manager? Okay, let's bring in ONANA. Ten Hag wants 3 signings done before pre-season tour. Let's see if we can get 2 or 3 done. Look what happened last season. We missed out on Martinez and Anthony right at the beginning. Weren't in prep. Had to overpay for Anthony, especially, and a little bit for Martinez. I think the interesting thing I've noticed in this last little bit of space since Woodward's gone is United are learning from their mistakes. We're not ridiculously overpaying. We're still slow. There's still definitely a lack in scouting. We're still letting good players go to rivals and maybe not looking at the right people. But at least for the first time, they're following the manager's plan. Woodward never followed the manager's plan. You know, I think since Woodward's gone, Arnold and Murta are like, okay, we're going to do what Ten Hag wants us to do. So they didn't give De Gea a new contract in the end because Ten Hag said, no, I want ONANA, and they've gone and done that. And, you know, I don't think Arnold and Murta are the people to run United. They're bankers. They're not footballing people. They're an improvement on Woodward, but my mum could have been an improvement on Woodward. This Diet Coke could have been an improvement on Woodward, and it can't even speak. I think anyone would have been an improvement on Woodward. But I think at least finally, I feel like the board listening to the manager, but the Glazers, will they release the funds? And I always say, United keep talking about FFP and having 120 million. And Mick said this yesterday. How many transfer windows, last 5 or 6 transfer windows in a row, we've had 120 million, and most of them we spent 200 million. So, you know, there's always the possibility for more to happen later in the window as well. Jack said, Alice, good game with Mike last night. Enjoyed it. Pray for Edwin van der Sar. Yeah, hopefully Edwin van der Sar is all okay as well. Even KSI said Astrid's off her head. I met Astrid. She's a nice girl, and she's a marketing genius because she gets a lot of money from it. But yeah, she just listens for attention. But, you know, if you're making that kind of money, can't blame people sometimes. ONANA and Hojlund, yes, but not sure about Qatar. I mean, look, no one's 100% sure of the takeover. Those, I think, with slight context around the space, seems to think it's Qatar. But they can't say anything because of an NDA. But yeah, big up Alice. Thanks, Stephanie Griffin. Oh, Nana. What's my name? What's my name? You know, this is when, do you know what? If we sign ONANA, everyone needs to go like download and play ONANA, What's My Name on Spotify. So if we can get Rihanna to #1 for bands, that'd be quite funny as well. ONANA's basically becoming a United player. I don't know if it's done yet, but you know, he's essentially ONANA essentially is a United player. Let me show you what Romana said. Like, guys, this is basically as close as it's done. This is as close as you can get to a here we go without it being a here we go, if you get what I mean. Romana said this: Manchester United are now really close, not just close, but really close to signing Andre ONANA. Positive round of talks. Final bid will arrive soon, then done deal. Romano is literally saying United are going to put in another bid, then it will be a done deal. He was told the deal will be sealed by the end of next week. Personal terms agreed, and United want ONANA to travel on the plane. And when it says deal will be sealed by the end of next week, that means medical announcement. The here we go could be this weekend. You know, the fact that Romano's basically said, I've been told it's the final bid will arrive, then done deal. Romano's basically said it's not a done deal yet, but I've been told ONANA's going to be a done deal in the coming days. So really positive stuff there as well. That for me essentially is De Gea gone, new goalkeeper in. We also linked with Zion Suzuki from Ua Red Diamonds in Japan. And he could be coming in as a second choice keeper, as Dean Henderson and De Gea could be going. So it looks like we could be signing a new starting goalkeeper and a new second keeper. I'm not going to pretend I knew who that Japanese keeper was. I think I would look like an idiot if I was pretending. But yeah. But I saw a lot of people talk about Andre Onana. I saw some tactical analysis and stuff. And EBL tweeted, Onana played. I'm going to show it on my screen. I want to show you how good Onana, what's my name, will be. Let me get this up on my screen. I saw this tweet. And it was basically said here, Onana played out this press with reliability in the Champions League final. There's no bigger test in football. Look at the confidence the man exudes as he positions himself ahead of the two centre-backs, the change in technical quality. Literally, Onana played out of this Man City press. This is Onana on the ball. Look at the City players, just plays out it like boom. Like the guy is an absolutely solid player as well. Big up Alice, Stacey. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Let me go back though. But yeah, I think, you know, what Onana's going to bring to United. He outplayed Edison. Oh, there's a thread here. Manchester United averaged 53% of the ball last season in the Premier League. Ten Hag adapted well to the limitations of the squad by changing his philosophy and playing more direct football. But this summer's about evolving. Onana is key. So there's a little bit of a thread here on Onana. I won't read it all out. I won't read it all out because that's not fair and someone's worked really hard on this. But they're basically saying Onana is the first step to achieving it when it comes to technical quality. The difference between him and De Gea is like night and day. This guy has balls and quality like you wouldn't believe. He was the spare man in the Champions League final and played like a peak Matt Hummels, and he did. And I was saying this in my live stream the other day. Having Onana is going to be like having 12 men on the pitch. It's going to be like having another centre back. Because the modern day of football, people want goalkeepers to almost be like a centre back as well. Continuing on in the chat, Alex says Hojlund is exciting. We signed plenty of under the radar development players and made them stars with us. I hope he can become the same. 100%, especially with Ten Hag. You know, what does Ten Hag like to do? Ten Hag likes to sign those under the radar players, those young players coming through with traits and develop them. That's what Ten Hag's got a track record for doing as well. Mount stats say all we need. We can't blame his game last season. It was the whole Chelsea team. Eric Ten Hag admired him and clearly wants Mount. Mount is Chelsea's top scorer, top assister, top creative player, top everything in the last 3 years. Amrabat's criminally underrated. I agree. I saw some guy claiming Amrabat used to play for Watford. He didn't. He's a good player. Really underrated. Was it Utrecht and Ten Hag as well? Do you think we'll go for Lavia? I'd like to say yes, but I think people like Liverpool and Arsenal who act a bit quicker than United will probably swoop him up as well, to be honest as well. Alice, who was your dream signing and why? De Jong. I love De Jong. I love Moises Caicedo. I love Enzo Fernandez. It was one of those three midfielders would be cool. Mbappe would be nice. And Kane would be nice. De Jong would be a dream signing just because I don't think he wants to come to United. Tchouameni would be nice. I tell you what, unrealistic signing I'd do. Rodri. That would be my unrealistic signing. Rodri, I tell you that now. Yeah. Continuing down as well. Need more power and control in midfield. Engine room, ideally Caicedo, but realistically Amrabat. Do you know what's mad? And I'm happy about it, to be honest. Brighton won 100 million for Caicedo for Chelsea. And you know what? Brighton will see that Chelsea, yeah, got 65 million for Havertz, 55 million for Mount, 30 million for Kovacic, 30 million for Koulibaly. Arsenal paid 105 million for Rice, and Brighton have gone, Chelsea, give us 100 million for Caicedo. It was 70 million, then it was 80, and now it's 100 million. I want to watch Chelsea faff about with this one. As I want Caicedo, and he ain't worth 100 million, but he's a fantastic player. I'd pay 80 million max. But I'd love it if Chelsea missed out on Caicedo and we could come get him next summer. I tell you, they got Enzo Fernandez. I tell you, if Enzo Fernandez didn't go to Chelsea in January, I'd have loved them this summer. He would have been an unreal signing this summer. I feel sorry for him. He's going to be stuck at Chelsea for about 12 years as well. I swear he's got like some unreal contract. Does anyone know how much Enzo Fernandez is earning at Chelsea? I think he's on like a 12-year contract. Something ridiculous as well. Amrabat or Lavia. I think next season Amrabat would be more impactful just because of his experience. But Lavia could be like world class. Lavia could be world class. Ed Woodward is more than a clown. Ed Woodward is the biggest fool in Manchester. Bigger fool. I'm going to scroll down. I'm very behind on the live chat, so I'm going to scroll down a bit. So if you said something, just repeat it. If you said something you want me to read out, just repeat it and put back in the chat. Because I'm going to scroll down nearer the bottom as well. Amrabat never played in England. His brother played for Watford. Yeah, that's what I thought. But he's a very good player as well. ONANA, Suzuki, Hojlund, maybe Kane and Dion would be a solid window on top of Mount. That would be a very good window on top of Mount. I don't think that would happen as well. The thing about this absurd takeover process that it probably wouldn't have affected our transfer window. Strange consolation, I guess. But if we get ONANA, sell Hendo, and then get Hojlund, 100%. The thing with the takeover is no one can tell you when it's going to happen or when a decision is going to be made, and no one could bet their house on that it's going to be Qatar, and no one could bet their house on there's going to be Sir Jim. But people who do have slight sources in terms of Rain Group or speak to the Qataris and get a little bit of insight on things but can't put things out because of the NDA, all kind of say, we feel like it's going to Qatar. And the stock price indicates that. Jim ain't out of the race, but Reuters is the best source there is. Basically said Qatar are having talks and negotiating about going to an exclusivity period. Qatar haven't been named the exclusive bidder. They have not gone into exclusivity period, but it's going that way. That's what all they were saying the other week. We've got a super chat here. Thank you very much, Sandip, for the little super sticker. Evening, everybody in the chat as well. Qatar could put 100 million injection. FFP allows 100 million over 3 seasons. With Qatar coming in, then United would have a lot more money to spend because they clear the debt dependent on FFP. We need another midfielder. Mount doesn't move the needle enough on his own. Amrabat needs to get done. If Qatar come in fast enough, get Crusader. I'm with you on that. I've said this. I like Mason Mount. The Mason Mount signing is definitely growing on me. The more and more I see Mason Mount in United, Ten plans for him. Maybe the Mason Mount PR is working on me. I can't lie. The Mason Mount transfer is definitely growing on me. But 100%, United need another midfielder. He doesn't solve ball retention problems. He doesn't solve control. Him, Casemiro, Bruno, it works, but it won't work away at the Etihad or away at the Emirates. And what struggles are away bloody record. We definitely need someone else to go in there. Someone, you could play a fullback inverted, which is why it would have been interesting to see if we got Jurriën Timber, which we haven't got because he's gone to Arsenal. But I do think we definitely need an Amrabat or DM or someone that can play in midfield. Thank you very much for the super sticker for Jay. Very generous super sticker. Big up for that, everybody in the chat. Thank you very much as well. Apparently, both Newcastle and West Ham are linked with James Ward-Prowse. Apparently, Newcastle and West Ham both linked with Harvey Barnes as well. West Ham are going to get a lot of money for Declan Rice. It's going to be interesting to see how they spent it because I don't think Tottenham spent the Bale money well, and Villa, I don't think spent the Grealish money well. So it'll be interesting to see how West Ham spend their money. I hope they give us 40 million for McTominay. Sorry, West Ham fans, I'd like that. Kane is a proven loser without ambition. Let's begin. I think Kane wants to leave Spurs, but I think Daniel Levy's told him, no way am I letting you go to a Premier League club. People with transfer knowledge have said United want Kane, but Daniel Levy would rather die than let Kane go to United. That is the feeling. I think if maybe Kane really pushed like Mason Mount, potentially if United were willing to overpay. But yeah, I think Daniel Levy is very much like, I am not letting you near as well. Liverpool have reportedly submitted a record-breaking bid to sign Kylian Mbappe. The Reds have offered 200 million to the league earned side. I doubt that. Bellingham was their dream, and they couldn't even put in a bid for Bellingham. I doubt that. Ben Jacobs says there won't be an exclusivity period. It's all done in the rounds of biddings. I think they will just potentially. You know why I think this is so slow? Is because they're getting everything done with Sir Jim and Qatar. So when they finally make their decision, just goes to the Premier League's owners test, and it will get done quite quickly. I think they're doing everything they can with both parties to delay actually just making that decision. In all honesty, I think is what's going on. Like the feeling is it's going to Qatar, but they haven't officially made that. They haven't officially made that decision at United. I do want to get into a few other bits of news. I want to talk a little bit about Hojlund. Chris Wheeler said some interesting things as well. See if I can find it there. Let's get into what Melissa Reddy and Sky said, because they've been pretty spot on with all of their Nana stuff. But this was basically said, Justin, Man United continue to hold positive talks with Atalanta over the signing of Rasmus Hojlund. Like Andre and Nana, discussions centre on the fee and structure of payments. We spoke about Greenwood earlier, and I said that hopefully Greenwood will go to Atalanta in a deal for Hojlund. I think that would be smart business from United. Now, the source that actually put out that Greenwood had an agreement with Atalanta is an Italian source, but it's someone that knows things. And the feeling in the space is that pretty much Greenwood at Atalanta have some stuff going on, have some talks going on. There's something going on behind the scenes agreement at Atalanta. Now, it's not been confirmed by anyone tier one, but people in the Atalanta space who seem to know information are saying, look, this agreement interest by Atalanta is genuine. Things are generally going on. That this agreement has chosen Atalanta agreement is the feeling. We haven't got Romano Ornstein on this, but Samuel Luckhurst, Chris Wheeler have all said United are exploring the option of Greenwood and Rasmus Hojlund deal. But people in the Atalanta space are saying actually United are well in talks for this Rasmus Hojlund deal and have really proposed the idea of Greenwood to Atalanta, and Atalanta are open to it. And actually, while United are discussing the fee and the structure of payments of Hojlund, they're discussing Greenwood, and that's where those rumours have come out for, because there's a feeling that Greenwood will be used in a deal for obviously Hojlund. Onana's basically done. Romano said it's going to be a done deal in the coming days. Onana is essentially wrapped up, which is why obviously United are going in for Hojlund here. Pardon me. Thank you very much for the super chat. Even if we get a good number 9, the biggest improvement has to be from Anthony. Last season, right side of our attack was non-existent. Drop if inconsistent. I agree. I think there was a spell towards the end of the season for 7-8 games where Anthony was our most impactful attacker when Rashford was injured and dropped off a little bit. The thing about Anthony is he got better towards the end of the season, and when he wasn't playing, we did notice he does stretch the pitch and stuff, but he doesn't do enough. Anthony has a really good game where he's heavily involved, or a really bad game. Anthony does more than Sancho. He's more impactful than Sancho. You notice Anthony's on the pitch because he'll have the ball a lot, but he might give the ball away a lot, whereas Sancho can kind of ghost. But I think Anthony was good. He showed aspects. He was inconsistent. I think he got a bit of consistency towards the end of the season. But 100%, we're going to have to see more from Anthony next season, especially for the money we paid second season. And I think we will see a better Anthony. I think Onana will get the ball up to Anthony high up the pitch, Mount pressing. I've always said with Anthony, he's a system player. If Man United play the way that Ten Hag played at Ajax and has intelligent players reading the game 1-2s, you've got Hojlund linking up with Anthony in attack. Hojlund will improve Anthony. Mount pressing high up the pitch with Bruno, which means United play the ball higher up the pitch so Anthony gets the ball in better positions. Onana distributing the ball better and quicker, and hopefully a midfielder to just help with retention and ball progression. Then I think Anthony will just all round be a better player. I think Anthony's one of those players that needs good players around them to really excel. And I think, we'll see that. I think I've always said with Anthony, he's not someone I'd have signed last summer. He's someone I'd have signed this summer. I always say you build teams from the back. Attackers are almost the final piece of the puzzle. I think Onana coming in, Mount coming in, and potentially Amrabat coming in really would help us. Then you get the striker. Then, because I think once the midfield, the defence, and the goalkeeper is good, the attack, you're going to naturally create more chances. So the attack's going to be better as well. Yeah. A lot of people saying, just going through the chat as well. Someone said Martial leave before Greenwood. I don't think Martial will leave, because who's going to want to buy him with those 250k a week to just test the injury team? All Martial's done is just make sure the injury team have got something to do. I like Martial, but I wouldn't buy him. Poor at Sevilla on loan, always injured, ridiculous wages as well. Not the player he used to be, because he's slower now because of his injuries as well. Alice, what's your thoughts on Mason Mount being number 7? Should have been Garnacho. I honestly wasn't that bothered. I wouldn't have given it to Garnacho yet. I would have given it to Garnacho next summer. I always feel like the number 7, in a way, like if Garnacho had a really good season this year, was meant for Garnacho the following season, because I feel like it's an academy kid, Ronaldo-esque player coming through. But I don't think it's that deep. It's a shirt number at the end of the day. Mason Mount actually spoke about getting the number 7. At the end of the day, we gave Cavani 7. We gave Depay number 7. You know, Depay, I actually understand why we did give number 7 to. Di Maria, I understand why we give number 7 to. Sanchez, I understand why we give number 7 to. But it's, you know, Mason Mount actually said I wasn't expecting it, but it's the challenge of it, what it represents and what you're representing. It was special. I didn't want to turn it down. Of course, it's exactly what I wanted. I was absolutely buzzing when I found out. So Ten Hag, I think it was just Ten Hag's way of showing Mason Mount that you're going to be an important player to me and you're an important player in my plans. And that's why he gave him the number 7 shirt as well. So yeah, I'm not bothered that Mason Mount wore the number 7 shirt. At the end of the day, it's a shirt. You know, I would have probably Sancho hadn't done enough to deserve it. Sancho didn't deserve it. Garnacho, I thought, was too young. You just given him a new contract. Is it too early to give him the number 7 shirt? So I was just reading a few chats. So I don't want to read out loud just in case they were saying something bad. I don't think we need Anthony. We had Sancho, Amadiel, and Palestri. That budget would have gotten us Oxenham. Yeah, but Sancho's been iffy. Palestri, I do really like, and Amadiello, I do really like, but they're quite young. But it's what Ten Hag wanted at the end of the day, and at least we backed him there. Martial's quite inconsistent on top of being horribly injury prone. I just don't see us moving him on as well. You know, not interested in talking about Greenwood. Look, people at United, this is what I say. Some people say, oh, so-and-so wants Greenwood. Some people say so-and-so doesn't want Greenwood. Man United haven't had Greenwood for a year and a half. Man United players, some of them don't feel comfortable with Greenwood coming back. The dressing room could be disrupted. Problems could be caused. Yes, he wasn't found guilty. Yes, he's back with the girl. But so many people were so disturbed from what they had saw leaked. It's different to all the other cases because the evidence is leaked. If the evidence wasn't leaked and the charges were dropped and Greenwood's back with a girl and the girl's pregnant, you do sit and go, okay, bring him back. He's not been found guilty. But because we saw it and heard it, it goes far beyond that because people have made up their mind. Players, people, coaches, the woman's side. You bring Greenwood back, people aren't going to be happy. And someone will say, oh, Ten Hag wants Greenwood back. And someone will say this player wants Greenwood back. And another report will say this player doesn't want Greenwood back. I don't know who wants Greenwood back and who doesn't want Greenwood back. But I know there's a reason United are delaying that decision because United know people feel strongly either way. So they've gone, let's send him out on loan, assess how the fans feel, assess how he does. If we want to sell him, it could raise his value if he's good. If he's crap, then we know there's no point ever putting him in the United shirt again. Because if you put Greenwood in the United shirt again, brands can pull out, sponsorships can pull out. Doesn't matter that he's not been charged, he's not been found guilty. It's the things that was leaked on the internet January 30th, 2022. What everyone saw. And for the last I'll say of it, United are worried because there's sponsorships, there's brands, and there are fans that will boycott if Greenwood played in the United shirt again. You know, people feel very strongly on this. So, you know, I don't know what will be done, but I've always said, for me, loan is the smartest move because, you know, it could disrupt the dressing room. It could upset people bringing him back. He's a fantastic player. He's an incredibly talented player, but it's very different to Thomas Partey. It's very different to other cases because when you hear that, when you see that, it doesn't matter if the charges have been dropped. People make up their mind. It's very different to all other cases. I don't think the Liverpool 200 million bid for Mbappe is true. I don't think it's true. I don't think Liverpool have that kind of money. Alice, if we get Rasmus Hojlund, do you think the whole team will play better with a proper number 9? Bruno, Anthony, Rashford, and Shaw. I do. I think Rasmus Hojlund's definitely raw. He might, not be perfect in his first season. You know how Rashford we threw on goal when he was 19 and he would miss a sitter here and there. I think that will be Rasmus Hojlund. He'll have, he will be raw. You know how Anthony misses a few chances, he'll miss a few opportunities. But he's someone that, and I think this is why Ten Hag likes him, because he's someone that will connect with Rashford, will connect with Anthony. Sometimes when we had Weghorst up top and even Ronaldo up top, did Ronaldo, Anthony, and Rashford really form a partnership? No. Did Rashford and Ronaldo form a partnership? No. Did Greenwood and Ronaldo form a partnership? No. Did Sancho and Ronaldo form a partnership? No. Ronaldo was a great striker, but he didn't make the wingers bad. He didn't connect with the wingers. It was like 3 individual forwards. Ten Hag is about a team. It's not about a team of individuals. Under Oli, we built a team of individuals which collided and there was mentality issues. with Ten Hag, it's about a team. Martial makes Rashford better, 100%. We'll say that. You know, Weghorst doesn't make Rashford better. Hojlund is someone that's going to come and he's going to make Anthony better. He's going to make Rashford better. He's going to interlink with Bruno. He's going to interlink with Mason Mount. They're going to work. He's going to drop deep. Hojlund's got positional awareness, tactical awareness, the ability to press. Very clever, very smart player, Rasmus Hojlund. So he will fit in with those players. He will be raw. He's not going to come in and have like a Harry Kane level impact. And I don't think he's going to have the same kind of impact that ONANA is going to have on the team. But I think he's a player. And I think Gonzalo Ramos, for me, is an improved version of Hojlund because I think he's about 2 years ahead of Hojlund in development. But Hojlund clearly is the one that Ten Hag wants. But Hojlund, I'd say, put another 2 seasons under him, which I think, you know, in an ideal world, you get Hojlund and Harry Kane and you develop Hojlund through. But Ten Hag to develop Hojlund, Benny McCarthy to develop Hojlund, I think that the players will link well with Hojlund. It might take a couple of games. He might be raw. But I think, you know, Hojlund's a good player. People say all 9 goals. It's about the player he'll become. If you know anyone Danish that's a football fan, speak to them about Hojlund. He is so highly rated in Denmark. I was speaking to someone that's Danish. And you know how like the English media used to hype Phil Foden, and they still do, but I think everyone's realised that Phil Foden is a good player. But you know, everyone used to hype Phil Foden as he was going to be better than Wayne Rooney and England's next big star. For me, that's Saka at the moment. Is, you know, Saka, Harry Kane. Foden's not done for England, but Hojlund is what Denmark view as their Wayne Rooney, the Foden, their superstar coming through. They love Hojlund in Denmark, and they've got reasons to. He's a good player as well. Could you share some insight in ONANA? I mean, look, I'm not an expert on ONANA. I just know he's a modern goalkeeper. He played with Ten Hag at Ajax. His distribution is insane. ONANA's distribution is insane. I will say this now. Watch ONANA Champions League final highlights if you did not watch him in the Champions League, and that will tell you everything you need to know. He is press resistance. He can play out from the back. He's like having another centre back in there. His distribution is insane. His reading of the game is intelligence. The way he's going to allow our defence to play a higher line, the team to push further forward, move the ball quicker, move the ball better, keep the ball better. ONANA will be fantastic. I believe he will be fantastic. And his shot stopping and shot prevention stats are better than De Gea's for the last 2 seasons as well. So yeah, keep smashing the like button, guys, and of course subscribe down below as well. And obviously share the video. Could Mbappe land at your United? Unlikely. I think he will go Real Madrid. If we get Qataris in, potentially. The thing is mad is, let's say Mbappe doesn't go to Real Madrid, doesn't sign that contract at PSG, and we get Qatar in, and then PSG are like, well, we want money for Mbappe. We can't have him going for a free. Would our Qatar owners make a bid for Mbappe at PSG in January? I think so, because Man United would be Qatari owned. I could see Mbappe coming because, okay, if Mbappe doesn't go Real Madrid, it will be United if we have Qatar. Because if we have Qatar, we'll challenge City and we'll challenge Newcastle. If we have Qatar, it's Mbappe versus Haaland in the Premier League. That's the recreation of Ronaldo versus Messi. Pardon me. But I think Mbappe is Real Madrid bound. I'm just going to clarify that. 100%, I only see Mbappe at Real Madrid as well. So I'm just scrolling down the chat as well. There's some weird people in the chat today. I'm just trying to find a normal comment. Plenty of raw, lesser-known footballers re-signed, went on to become stars. We don't always need superstar signings. 100%. And I said this yesterday. You know, if you look at the top 100 most expensive, you know, if you look at the top 10 most expensive transfers in football, I think 7 out of 10 of them are flops. A lot of the biggest names, a lot of the biggest transfers in football seem to be absolute flops. You know, that's the thing. Sorry, I'm just going through the chat here. 213 likes. Please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below and share the video. Alice, do you think the takeover happened this transfer window? I think so. I don't know, but I would think so as well. And yeah, Greenwood will never play for United again, and I'm with Nick. Unless the only chance he plays again is if he goes to Atalanta. He plays really well. He is absolutely brilliant, and everyone decides to love him again because he's so good. They forgot about what he's done. And United go, oh, it doesn't matter about the money. We'll lose with brand and sponsorships. He's so good. He's worth it. He scored 30 goals in Serie A. We're going to bring him back. And then that is the only way I see him playing for United again. I don't think he will, because a lot of people have good reason to not want Greenwood back. They heard what they heard, they saw what they saw. It wasn't nice. I don't think he can play in England again. He'll be tormented by the crowds as well. And people comparing it to the Anthony situation. The Anthony situation is very different. One, it wasn't, the allegations aren't as extreme as Greenwood's allegations. Two, there is no evidence online. You know, there's no evidence online. So I don't know what's happened with Anthony. I don't know what the facts with Greenwood. But you can make people make assumptions with the Greenwood situation because they saw it, and what they saw was not nice. What they saw was horrible, and it's a very sensitive topic, which is why I don't like getting into it. And people have every right to not like what they saw. And I think, bringing Greenwood back and with Nick could bring down the mood, because a lot of those players unfollowed him. I'll tell you this now from people I've spoken to, and people won't like me to say this, but there's a lot of Man United players that feel very strongly. There's a lot of Man United players that have spoken to Murta and said, don't bring Greenwood back. They feel very strongly about it, despite him being back with the girl, despite the charges being dropped. Mostly the older players, the younger players he still talks to, and isn't contact with. Mostly the older players don't feel comfortable. I'll say that. But he'll be. I think the best thing we can do is use him in a deal for Hojlund. Alice, do you think the Glazers are willing to sell United? Yes, I do. The most important thing is, you know what? Most important thing right now isn't about what we do with Greenwood, this or that. We haven't had him for the last year and a half. He's a brilliant talent. He's a brilliant player. I don't care. Don't want to talk about it anymore. But what most important thing is, Hojlund is moving. ONANA is basically done and confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Mason Mount is a done deal, and the takeover could be moving. I'm just going to see if there's any more United news coming out in a second, but I wanted to quickly address the Cayman Islands account news regarding the takeover. Someone tagged me on this on Twitter, actually. It was a good thread, and it's basically said, a number of you are pointing out the emergence of the Cayman Island Company register of the 9-2 merger entity. And while mergers are acquisitions, the entity was created in mid-April, but it isn't a Qatari development. So this is something that they would have to do if they wanted to buy United, Cayman Islands, tax, all of that. But he's saying it doesn't necessarily mean things are moving for Qatar, which is a fair point. And a lot of people were getting very, very excited. Oh, look, with Qatar have done this and that, and it looks good. But as said, they'd have to do that. So it's looking good for Qatar, though. I want to quickly get into the Hojlund. See if that works. Come on. It was said quickly by Jacob Steinberg that Manchester United are determined to sign a striker, and it is expected that Manchester United will bring in Rasmus Hojlund. It remains to be seen how much it will take to sign the striker. Atalanta initially wanting 100 million, but United like to start bidding at 50 million. He's not worth more than 50 million. Atalanta know it's United, so they're going to try and rinse us. We should start bidding at 40 million, agree a deal about 55 million. Anything above 60 million, we do a Mason Mount and say, no, go away. Because Atalanta sporting director is the same guy that mugged us off in Maguire, so he knows exactly what to do. But ONANA's £45 million. For me, Hojlund, he's great and he's one for the future, but he's not above a £50 million player yet. You might as well go invest the money in Gonzalo Ramos as well. A lot of people, there was a rumor coming out that apparently it was going to be Sheikh Jassim announcement today. I didn't believe any of those rumors. I don't believe the ITK. I tell you the people I believe. The people I believe on the takeover aren't the people tweeting. This is going to happen today. This is going to happen tomorrow. Thank you very much, Real, for the super sticker. But the people I believe aren't the people coming out and tweeting it's going to be today, it's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be next week. The people I believe are the people that I message and I talk to behind the scenes, off camera, people that have got genuine contacts that have been told this and that and this and that. I'm just pouring some Coke in my glass. But they say, look, we can't say anything because of NDAs. We can't put this information out. They're the people I believe. The people that are saying, I know this, I think this is going to happen. Not 100% sure, but I would not tweet it. The people that don't say anything are the people that know things on the takeover. And the people that aren't saying anything are just saying, I think it's going Qatar's way. The people that are putting it on Twitter, announcement this week, announcement this week. Those ITKs, they know nothing. Reuters will have people that know stuff. There will be a few accounts that know stuff, but those people will not be putting much information out. They might say, look, we're hearing it's like Qatar being 3-2 up, but they won't be saying there's an announcement Friday, there's an announcement Saturday. People know things. they're quiet because they know NDAs. They know that they don't want to betray their source. You know, don't those accounts saying every day a new update on Qatar. Don't believe them. You know, Mike Keegan will give us updates. Reuters will give us updates. Bloomberg will give us updates. Genuine journalists will give us updates. And I don't know what their sources are like or not. But yeah. Anyway, people, I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. So please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Share the video. Thank you for watching today's live stream. It was a good show on the channel. I will be back tomorrow with a video and update and hopefully some stuff on ONANA. See you then and bye.